Hello, everybody. I am back. I am Wub Waffles, and I'm joined here by
Ty Munster. Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Yeah, we're going to be casting this next Overwatch match. This is going to be St. Xavier versus Tiffin?
Yep, Tiffin.
Tiffin. Yes, I remembered. It looks like it's going to be a pretty fun game. I'm excited to be here, excited to cast it, and I have extra stakes in the outcome of this match because I will be playing whoever loses this match.
So really, you want both teams to look bad?
Yeah, really, I want one of the teams to just absolutely get folded like some laundry. That would be really nice for me personally.
Yeah, that would be very convenient for you at the very least. As you see here at St. Xavier, picked first, it's going to be Ilias on our starting grounds. The bans, it was it was Genji for St. Xavier and Wrecking Ball ban for Tiffin. A bit strange. You said that St. Xavier don't have a ball, correct?
I don't remember them playing it all that much in our match. So I'm going to guess that it was not a target ban, and it's more just we don't want to deal with ball on this map, which is fair.
100%. Like on Ilios in particular, there's very few better ball maps, and there's very few better ball modes than Control at that.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to get a better chance to ban ball if you... This tells me that they want to brawl. This tells me that they want to go Ramatra, Reinhardt, something like that around that vicinity that a ball would just be able to weave through in and out and just absolutely control space with. I'm expecting like you might have even been concerned about a Pharah, which even leads me further into that direction if you're banning the ball away.
The only other thing I could think is that they want to run dive, but just run a different kind of dive comp. And we see D.Va coming out here, Junkrat, which I think he's just a Junkrat OTP, so that makes sense here.
Right.
Yeah, so Tiffin running the D.Va, Junk, Cass, Kiri, Juno. St. Xavier running the Queen, Venture.
Yes.
Soldier, Lucio, Kiri.
Soldier's not a very common pick, but he did just get that, shot size buff, which makes him a little bit more viable. What I want to talk about, though, is Tiffin running this sort of pseudo double flex backline that we've seen a few teams do. For example, in pro play, Wei is well known for really making the double flex work, where your Kiriko kind of goes on those crazy flanks that she's allotted by the fact that you have a second support with tons of healing, so you don't need the Kiriko there. It looks like we might have some connectivity issues with Citron.
I don't know.
They need a pause.
Pause.
Yeah, we need a pause.
That's not us.
You Control Shift equals. Yeah, you gotta hit Control Shift equals like at the same time. You can also go into the settings and do it.
I mean, either way, the show lobby. Yeah, there we go. We might just need to full restart the map. Anyways, unfortunate, but I mean, hey, I guess we can talk a little bit more about that Kiri Juno.
Yeah, I mean, so Kiri Juno, right? A lot of the time you'll see like a Kiri Ana with a double flex backline. I was talking with my team, CSU, represent. Hang on.
1 second.
Yeah, let me grab the hoodie. Represent. I was talking with some of my guys, right? They're second seed here, favorites to hit grand finals. A lot of those guys think that the double flex is bad, like really bad. I disagree personally. I'm a very big supporter of the double flex, especially with, for example, ball, which is gone now. And if you're going to be playing with ball, without ball on the other side, double flex looks even better. If you're not playing with ball at all, it can look a bit suspect, but usually see the Ana with it. Juno makes sense if ball's off the table to me.
Well, and additionally, if you're running a comp that's more focused on horizontal mobility rather than vertical mobility, the Juno makes a lot of sense because she doesn't have very much vertical mobility. She has a lot of horizontal. And yeah, we are going to be restarting the map here. I kind of wonder if they're going to try and force the same submap and force the same character picks off the bat so neither team gets an advantage from knowing what the other team wants to run.
Maybe, but it looks like it's going to be starting on well this time. I'm looking at the producer's monitor from over here. I'm just taking a quick
I got a little sliver. I recognize that lighthouse.
I've seen that windmill once or twice. I've played Overwatch before.
As a Lucio player, I think I recognize that map.
I live here, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. No, but the double flex backline is something that my team, we've played quite a lot of, and a lot of that's just based on character comfort.
And same comps as well.
Yeah, but it definitely, the double flex with the ball does make a lot of sense as somebody who's run that quite a bit. So, and yeah, okay, we are just going to see the same team comps anyway, so I mean, that makes sense.
I will say that I've played St. Xavier back when I was a player last year. This roster looks about the same as it did back then, and they were a fair bit weaker than 4th seed, so I'm excited to see how these players have grown over time. I recognize most, if not all, these names.
I mean, they whooped us when we played each other, so and can confirm they're pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like both teams are going to go left side here, fight over this little building.
Cage control super important, especially when you're on the dive. With the Junkrat as well, it's good space to hold.
And the Queen is the first one to go down here, and that's going to be St. Xavier's tank going down here, and I think St. Xavier's just going to back off for the most part. Tiffin's just going to hold space, cap point.
I like this a bit from Timbo, right? The thing with Soldier is you kind of want to play as a long-range tracer, stay as far away out of the LOS of the other team as possible while being a massive nuisance, sort of a fly.
Is he in their spawn?
Pretty much, yeah. That's what you do on Soldier.
I couldn't tell which side of the map he was on, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's what you got to do on Soldier, though, is just be as annoying as possible and drag out enemy attention. It's a lot like Tracer. You just have to be a bit more preemptive with your movement.
Well, and that speed ring used there, that's pretty good for St. Xavier. That's all of their speed gone. St. Xavier's going to still have the Lucio here to keep gaining the speed. Timbo gets a pick onto the Juno. That's really, really big, and he's going to keep pushing this pressure. That's the cask. Here he's... Oh, the Juno trade does come through. St. Xavier is likely going to flip here. Yeah, Vortex King goes down on the Junkrat. Diva goes down. Yeah, this is... Give him the boot kill. No!
Not today.
Man, how else is he going to get his boot kills or level up?
Hey, he'll find a way.
On the mastery.
Oh, you get the perk eventually without with or without the boops. I like the switch up. Excuse me. I like the switch up here from Cuz, matching the counter pick war. Not going super hard in the counter pick to where you bait an immediate counter pick. I like that kind of style of counter pick. But I also say I love how Timbo played that last fight. Like playing annoying is great, but Soldier, you gotta flush him out or else he just kills somebody.
Yeah, and this Venture's getting pressured early. That's a bubble out quick. And this Doom is getting a lot of value here, getting a lot of resources, a lot of space. Zara is pretty split. I don't know if they're going to push this.
I'm not sure if they're going to be able to. Like, yeah, Cuz can push up, but Crater's at 1 HP. Somebody's got to top the man's up, and Timbo finds Vortex King.
Chunk is down. That's more picks. The flip comes in for Tiffin, but I don't think they're going to... And a lot of ults being invested. I'm really surprised we saw rush from both sides.
Big mistake. Like, I think the Kitsune rush from Cream was a bit ambitious, too much. Then Gosh, like, matching is a bit rough. And then on top of all of that, Timbo then going in with Attack Visor as well when it's almost certainly one fight. It's a bit unfortunate. It happens sometimes. But that does ultimately favor St. Xavier, where you've got the Tectonic Shot and the Graviton Surge, two incredible ultimates coming online.
Yeah, whereas on the side of Tiffin, the only real big... Oh, wait, Grab comes out.
They're actually going to combo it.
Yeah, they combo, and that's a very clean fight win. Okay, never mind. Trade's coming through. Okay, there we go. That is going to be St. Xavier cleaning this one up. And yeah, a very, very quick fight win there with the grab and Tectonic Shot combo. I mean, I like to see that. I'd like to see them going first rather than trying to play reactively.
100%. Slight problem is that that's both of your ultimates. I would love to see you stagger those out between fights, especially that was so fast. Zepsi is about to have the orbital ray. If you can keep Cuz alive, you'll build it.
Yeah. And Tyre comes out quickly. That's going to take out Kiriko at the start of the fight. That's a really, really good Tyre. Beat comes out for St. Xavier to try and flip this. Can they get a pick here? That's Suzu used.
I love the beat to sustain. It's giving them another chance here, but I don't think that chance is going to last very long.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a really, really scrappy fight. It's going to come down to probably 1 or 2 picks.
It's looking like it'll eventually favor Tiffin. They were in the lead for a while, and if Citron gets staggered here, that'd be...
I think he gets out. Yeah, he gets out. That is a crazy crosshair, by the way.
I think that's our producers. It automatically shows.
Oh, is that?
Is it? It's his?
Yeah,
I saw it on
okay.
I think they added an update wherein you see other people's crosshairs, like in Valorant.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Which is, really nice change. I like that. All right. The ult economy is kind of in shambles here for St. Xavier. I mean, you're coming up on Grav and Visor, but Doomfist just gets picked at the start of the fight. It is go time here for St. Xavier. Visor comes out here for Timbo, and he does get Junkrat. Venture gets traded, and it's Kitsune rush for Tiffin. They're going to try and flip this. I mean, they have to. They don't quite get any picks with that. Timbo gets a 2K. He's on the flank. He almost kills the Juno. Suzu comes out. The Doomfist is looking for a pick. I don't think he's going to get one. I think he's just going to get traded. Juno's here for the last touch, but I think that's it. That's going to be St. Xavier taking this first round on Ilios.
A celebratory grab from Tel. I think that's a very good round from St. Xavier. The composure that they had critically, cuz Engage is too low on HP. You have the double flex. That's where you get the sustain. That is where you keep your tank alive the best. And cuz goes in at like 200 HP, hits a nice rocket punch. Could have gotten 2 at higher HP, but just gets punished by the Venture, the drill dash. It does like 80 damage. Combine that with 2 primary fire shots, combine that with any extra chip damage. You're losing your tank in that situation. Now cuz panic, maybe a panic switch here over to the Zarya themselves. They seem to want to play, you know, that Diva. Now it's the Zarya. It's matched up against the Hazard. It's an okay matchup, but it's not something you want to be forced into.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't got anything else. Interestingly enough, we have both teams on Kiri, but a disagreement on how you want to get your speed, but
right, yeah, as long as you got your speed, right?
Just the exact way that you want to go ahead and do that.
I will say I do like the Hazard here. I think Hazard is very strong. He hasn't really been nerfed since the last time he was meta. It's just Torbjorn shoved him out, and people are, I feel, starting to realize that.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to see. I think both teams holding these high grounds really effectively so far, which is really how you play this point. And the Hazard just gets absolutely melted there. I think he went a little bit too aggro, and Tiffin punishes that. They're going to get the Venture, maybe? No, not quite. Let's see. I think Tiffin wants these staggers here. They're going to get it onto the Venture, and they're going to get Cap here. And do they get another? They're looking at this Lucio. No, they don't quite get it. They're going to back up, hold this close high ground, force St. Xavier to either run through a fire
through the fire.
I can't spot. Force them to run through a bunch of bullets and fire from this high ground, or use resources to take it.
They're gonna walk down main, it seems, and they're Monkey gone.
Yeah, wait, that's a really, really good fight there from Tiffin. They just drop and immediately assassinate people. Yeah, Zarya, and that's a really, really quick team fight, which, if you're going to lose one, you want to lose it quick.
Absolutely.
And Timbo's in the backline again.
Hey, this is Soldier. This is what you got to do. He's playing it well. I like to see this. But yeah, losing 2 fights and giving away 33%, a third the point for 2 fights is an excellent pace. Tell him. Now over to the Winston. I think this is a great counter pick for the Zarya. You just got to make it work. It's tough. Dropping that low.
And so far, St. Xavier just disengaging for the time being. I think they're going to re-engage here because Timbo's pressuring the Kiriko. Kiriko gets one, but they get the Venture instead. That's a really, really good pick for Tiffin. They're going to start running down the Soldier here. But Citron gets a trade onto Vortex King, and they're going to go for the Monkey here. Monkey dies, but they also trade. Oh, wait, no, that was the Junkrat. Never mind. This is a really, really scrappy fight, but it favors Tiffin because the longer this goes on, the more point percentage they get. Gosh is going to have Kitsune Rush here. Okay, both sides are going to have Kitsune Rush. I think it becomes a question of who on Tiffin can build their ult fast enough here to provide an advantage. And that's going to be St. Xavier going first with the Kitsune Rush. Tiffin decides to match. Fight's going into this little room.
The grab!
The boop! They got a 2K boop! Oh my goodness.
And over the tire as well. They're trying to win this one, and Vortex King, he finds his one at the 2v3.
They're down. I think St. Xavier just wins this.
Unfortunate timing. Look at all. Tiffin had everything. They had everything.
They used everything.
It's all gone. The bank account's dried up. The well is empty. They had everything, and now they're dry. They're stuck out.
This has gone from being really good for Tiffin to really, really bad. I think your goal here is to get beat out, like straight up. Get beat out of Citron. That is your top priority, so you can build your own ults here.
You were doing good at stopping, fights and ending them quickly. Now you need to end them quickly on the other side. You need to be the one giving away fast fights, because even if you win one, you're at 81. You need another retake.
They're walking. Winston gets really low. They get the pick, and they get beat out. Oh, that's really, really good. Tectonic Shock's going to come out to try and get a... But the picks are not coming through. Tiffin's winning this fight completely dry. They win this fight despite being down 2 ultimates, and now St. Xavier has to run in and touch.
The melee for Primal.
They have the Primal, so that means they get this free touch, and they get a little bit of sustain on the point.
I mean, how long can they last? 1325, it's a lot of HP, but it's not going to last.
They get a pick on the Junkrat. That's really good. Can you get a support? Suzu's out for Tiffin.
This is getting hot and nutty. This is getting tense. Even if you win this on St. Xavier, you're at 45%.
Okay, and St. Xavier flips.
They're playing this slow, but they're trying to find a
Kiri
kill.
pressured out. There's trades coming through. Both Kiriko's dead. You're just on your main supports now, or depending on what you define a main support as. Sojourn dies.
Yeah.
The St. Xavier gets the picks, cleans up the fight. And now we're going to see this next fight is going to be a very, very big ult fight. Because, like, look, we got Kitsune Rush from Tiffin, Overclock soon. We got Visor. Visor's really the only thing you're getting from St. Xavier, but still, you're likely going to have 3 ults here.
Yeah, you need a slow fight to build ults if you're saying Xavier, and if you're Tiffin, you want to end a fight quick.
You want to use Rush early. There it goes, it comes out. Tiffin's falling very, very low though. And Timbo with the flank tag visor, it's really, really big. Gets 1 trade there, but still, Tiffin is going to be up here, up 1. But they're not getting point pressure. They're not pushing point. You want to save Overclock. There we go. Okay, Tiffin is gonna get this here. The Lucio here is ready for a contest.
What a scrappy map this has been. It'll just barely go the way of Tiffin for the second round. And reminder, this is 2 of 3. And even if they somehow lose this, which ain't happening, we're going to 3.
Yeah, wow. Bro, we can hear them yelling in here. Oh my goodness, it is getting loud out there.
This is electric.
This is a really, really fun match to watch so far.
I mean, I think you guys might be able to hear it through the microphones is how, like, tense this is getting. This is a 4th, 5th seed match. Like, usually when you see 4th, 5th seed, sometimes, you know, it might be a wash. Sometimes it might just be, you know, the seeding happened to work out that way. No, this is the 4th team. This is the 5th team. They are playing each other. They are playing close, and they are playing very, very well right now. Both the tanks now are going to be hovering the Zarya to start. And do you see what I see from Timbo?
You know what? It's not surprising. And guess what? My dog Joldeed has diffed him on the Widow.
Oh, no.
But still, Timbo is a really, really good Widowmaker. I know that, so I'm not surprised here. And he's going to be more or less uncontested. He's definitely going to have an advantage over this Sojourn.
We might see Cuz go back to the Doomfist. Wrecking Ball, reminder, was banned this map. I think that one was Tiffin, so Tiffin don't have that option. Now the Widowmaker is, you want the ball when you're playing against Widow.
Yeah. Okay, we're just seeing poking and prodding so far. That was a dangerous thing for that Junkrat. That Junkrat is lucky to be alive right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, so far no picks coming through. St. Xavier is getting the initial point pressure. That's going to be a focus onto the Kiriko. Suzu used early. That Kiri is going very low, but the Kiri wins the 1v1, gets traded. But still, Bubbles being used here. The Czar from St. Xavier is getting really, really low, having to hold point right now, and that I think that's Tiffin just going to win this fight.
I thought for a second that the fight was going to be determined by Crater there. You saw that they were in deep, and it was to try to find Timbo, but Timbo, like, ran away, wasn't able to have contribution to the fight, and that's the risk of playing Widowmaker. The reward is some fights don't happen. The risk is some fights are so weak that you're playing a 4v5. Now the Bastion is coming out. It's confusion from Timbo, I think.
I'm trying to think of why he would go the Bastion here. Maybe just to melt the Zarya.
I think so.
That's my best guess, but he's getting tossed around like a football on Thanksgiving, and Timbo is going to be the first pick here, and I think Tiffin is gonna get the fight win here. Pretty fast, pretty clean.
Yeah, they're feasting after that one. Timbo back to the Soldier. I think this is a good call. Don't like the Bastion. Soldier's going to be tough here because you don't have as many flank rush the other 2 points. It's a very narrow point that Ruins is. It's going to be hard for you to do anything. Frontline pressure is nice, but you really want that angle control.
Yeah, we're going to see the Zarya going really aggressive, and Cream with a really aggressive Kitsune rush into spawn. So far, nothing coming. Oh, no, but the Monkey gets picked here.
Great focus fire onto Telman. They could just hold the spawn now.
I almost wonder if we just see a disengagement from Tiffin.
Yeah.
I feel like spawn holding here is just not as good as it is on some other maps. I just feel like it's not beneficial.
For sure. But at the same time, though, like, they have the opportunity to play very aggressive. And by the way, Monkey's dead, Citron's dead. They're just getting kills. This is the point where you stamp an advantage in the rest of this series. If you 100-0 this one, if you it is a genuine tactic. And
Grab, Grab comes out.
Yeah, they're employing it.
Okay, it's about sending a message. It's about sending a message.
Unironically, some teams will play.
Wait, he got Kiri. He got Kiri with the grab.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't even see that. That's my bad.
And now Monkey's got to try to fish for a touch on
early tire. Is that going to find anybody? And it gets destroyed by Monkey. Okay, I think that's go time. Kitsune Rush popped by Gosh. He dies, but ooh, and then Monkey dies too. Pharah ult comes out, gets the Zarya. Does he? He gets 2! Wait, that could be really big. That's going to be the overclock coming out here from Crater. I think that's going to solidify this fight. Despite the best efforts of St. Xavier University, they are going to get 100-0 here in this next map, or in this last point.
Telm was very close to the Primal Rage there. Somehow they were able to have it. Maybe it's a bit more stall. You can see Tiffin pop off. You can hear Tiffin pop off.
Yeah, we could hear that.
Yeah. I think it's coming through the mic with how much they're...
Wait, can we see play the game? Can we see play the game?
I would love to. It's going to be Soldier.
Timbo! My goat, Timbo!
I will say, I was trying to say it before, but they kept fighting. It's a genuine strategy. I've employed it in the past. It's a bit grimy, but tilt your opponent. Just walk at their spawn. Disrespect. Make them feel like they are less than you, and you will have full control over the match. Genuinely.
That was Tiffin, a 2-1, I think.
It was a 2-1, yes. But Tiffin, with that last show of dominance, that will put a pep in their step, and that will trip up St. Xavier a little bit. That was St. Xavier's map pick. That's a good way to establish dominance early on by Tiffin.
So now we have to see, does Tiffin just keep rolling with this momentum, or does St. Xavier have something cooked up here to try and wrestle it back? I guess we can try and theorize what kind of hero bans they might do here, what kind of map pick. Part of me wonders if they just ban the Junkrat just to try and tilt their Junkrat player.
It's just a free map win, I think. Like, not literally, but if it's a Junkrat like specialist, then a Junkrat ban just kind of is like an 80% chance to win the next map. But worst case scenario, you lose that map, right? And what does that do for you?
I also wonder if they try to target like a Juno ban or something to try to make it a little bit harder for Tiffin to run the tanks that they want to play, which it's seeming like so far they're more running to run brawl tanks or just horizontal tanks rather than sort of the dive like Monkey, Doom, Diva. I don't know. We'll see. They really seem to like that Czar, and it really seemed to work. So I kind of want to see what bans we get.
Yeah, the Czar's interesting to me. She's gotten some nerfs over time, right? Recently, she's gotten like that. You know, her energy goes away 25% faster, which very, very big nerf, really. Zarya is all about just staying at high energy, especially with that perk that at 50% energy, I think it is, you just pierce people. It's crazy. It's a really good perk.
Yeah.
This could be a Zarya ban for one of these teams, but they both want to lean into that style.
Yeah.
So it's tough for both of these teams.
I will say this. I know that we saw a little bit of a role swap there from St. Xavier. I know Monkey does, the player Monkey, he does like to play tank. In our match, he played tank against us, and he played primarily dive tanks. So we might see him swap back into the tank role, and we might see St. Xavier try and run more of a dive comp.
That would make sense, especially that. No, I don't think that does actually, because if you're going to play your dive tank anywhere on any map, I'm thinking Gibraltar, Numbani, Dorado, Ilios. Like, that's prime dive territory. Like, since time immemorial, it doesn't matter what the meta is. It could be Goats double shield. You will always see teams playing Winston on Ilios. It could be Mauga meta. You'll still see the Monkey come out.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. Well, it might have been that there was a certain way they wanted to play that map.
Right.
And now that that map's over, they'll just say, all right, we're going back to this other style. I don't know. And it could have been that once, like, it might have been they wanted to switch partway through that map, but they couldn't because of role lock.
It could also be a difference in DPS hero pools, because Monkey was on DPS there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like maybe
could be true.
Monkey like plays the characters you want to play on Ilios in particular, but
I don't know, but I'm really interested to see what St. Xavier is going to opt to do here. Do we have any words on hero bans?
Doesn't seem as though, because I think it's okay. Oh.
Okay, so we just got comms that we got a Blizzard World pick and a Sojourn ban. Yeah, very interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Lucio ban for Tiffin.
Lucio.
Really interesting. These might be target bans. I'm going to be honest with you here. That's really, really interesting.
Thinking about like scrimming, and I'm like Blizzard World. I probably ban Mauga, Ramantra, Brig, Ana. Those are like my target bans. Like maybe you ban a Widow if you're scared of that, and Ashe. These are not bans I would have on my radar for Blizzard World. It's a very divey map, I feel. Again.
And that's why I really think these are target bans.
Yeah.
These are, we know that you can play this well. We don't want to deal with that.
So it was St. Xavier. What did they ban again?
That's Soj.
Soj. So it's Soj from St. Xavier. I don't know if the Sojourn is a big enough issue for you to ban if you're St. Xavier, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It might have just been you played this, so we want to disrupt that.
Maybe. I mean, probably just a target ban at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, that's what I would imagine.
And you don't, obviously not going to ban anything like, you know. So they banned first as well. And banning first protects your soldier. So that's another thing.
True.
Like, you want to put Soldier in a situation where he is the best hit scan for the job, and at a mid-range, high-mobility map, like, Ashe is good here. Sojourn is better. Soldier is worse than Sojourn at the very least. So you're now putting Tiffin into a catch-22. Do you mirror the Soldier, or do you trust your hit scan player here to play the Ashe? Or even, are you going to play Cassidy on Blizzard World? He just got his range buff, so maybe.
I would be pretty surprised if we saw Cassidy here.
We could even see double flex, like Far Tracer, Echo, Genji, Venture.
That would make a lot of sense to me here. I do not know much about Tiffin's hero pool, so I can't speak into that. Mm-hmm. But it is interesting seeing St. Xavier ban the Soj, because I know they have players that really, really like to play the Soj. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of surprised to see that. But I think it is, like what you said, they're trying to force a situation that benefits something. Yeah. If somebody on St. Xavier is going to play the ball, it is going to be Monkey. That is no surprise there to me. We are going to see. I'm kind of curious what your thoughts on the Kiri Ana are here with the Ram.
So that's what I was talking about before. The double flex is very good with ball. I think Ramantra is an underrated shout, because you don't play Ramantra so much as the engage brawly tank as he would in other compositions. You play him more into his poke style with the ability to have a very strong mid-fight brawl. And Ana can and wholeheartedly keep Ramantra up, no problem. Pineapple pizza. Love it. Hate it. Hate it. Sorry. Let me correct myself. I don't want anybody on the internet thinking I like pineapple pizza, but
the emote is fun. We'd love to see the emote.
Love the emote. Hate what it represents. But Ana can solo keep up Ramantra, and you're going to see why I think Kiriko's a toxic character. If they're going to play this like macro-wise correctly, Cream should be flanking. Just get in there, duel a DPS, and Cream right now is with the team. Might see them split off a little bit.
Hopefully we see him split off a little bit. I think the Juno pick here is a little bit interesting because I know Citron plays Lucio. And I would think, wow, a dive there from Monkey, immediately taking out the crater there. And the Ana's in a bit of a vulnerable position, but
you kind of pressure her out rather than booping her off, right? You get her off the high ground out of the way, good enough. Big boop on the cuz.
That's really good.
I like this from Monkey.
Oh, and the ball might die here. Nope, there you go. He gets out because ball is ball.
He is balling at the end of the day, and they're going to be able to get a stagger here onto Zeps.
Wait, he might die.
Don't trade. Don't trade.
He might die here.
Whatever you do, do not trade. No, they got it. They got it. All right.
As an Ana main, I love seeing that. that made my heart very happy. But I am interested. It's interesting to see the Juno for me because I would imagine you would want to run Lucio here just because better vertical mobility for the tide.
It was banned, wasn't it?
You're right. I forgot that it was banned. Never mind.
And it was banned by guess who, Tiffin.
Yeah. No. Okay. So like I said, target ban. That makes a lot of sense.
And we see Vortex King switching over to the Torb. I didn't expect that. It kind of shows that the Junkrat ban in the future might not have as much value as you would expect.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty good pick against the ball because you can pretty effectively survive that initial spike in pressure you get from the ball dive, but that's going to be a nano boost onto the Diva. Engaging, that's going to be Kiriko getting taken out immediately. That's the best possible pick you can get here, I think. I mean, that's the bulk of the healing. And yeah, they're just going to leave. They're going to go retake their positions and wait for St. Xavier to respawn.
Bulk of the healing, and fun fact, did you know that counting reload, Kiriko is a higher DPS than Cassidy?
That does not surprise me. The early Kitsune rush here
In the
from
wall.
Dream.
It's in the wall. The Kitsune rush is in the wall.
Oh, that's unfortunate. We're going to see trades coming through here. And wait, and St. Xavier's turning this. I think they're going to get this fight win. They're looking for the cleanup kills, and yeah, that's a really, really good fight win. You get Kitsune rush out, and yeah, you use
Barrage.
you use Barrage and Bob, but like Bob is realistically not a fight-winning ultimate most of the time. But Kitsune Rush typically is. And so now you have your own Kitsune Rush, which we see here gets used early, and Mines, and that's going to get a pick onto the Cassidy. And it's really, really hard for the rest of Tiffin to walk in. The bomb onto the Juno is really big, and then the ball pick here, they might be flipping it. I think St. Xavier might have gone a little bit too aggressive here.
I think so too. And one thing you say, Bob is not a fight-winning ultimate. It's generally not. It sometimes can be, but it's a point-winning ultimate. It really is so strong at contesting objectives, and that's a situation you would love to have Bob, or even just having save the barrage as well. And we see Zeps has the perk Groggy, which reduces the target speed, like a sleep target, after they wake up by 50% for 2 seconds-ish. I think
He took that perk?
Yeah, you always take it against ball. It's a guaranteed kill if you sleep the ball and you're coordinated with it.
That makes sense.
Strong.
That makes sense.
It's good against
It's a nano boost onto the Diva again here, immediately picking off the Pharah, but the Ana gets traded. Ball dies, and I think Tiffin's going to win this.
Great DM, and they're going for the orbital ray?
They must really, really believe in that, but they get the Diva.
They get the DMAC, and they force the Kitsune Rush out. I would say this is a good fight for Xavier. You use your best ultimate, but you brought out the Kitsune Rush, and you're going to have a baby Diva on the field for next fight. Cuz is going to jump off the map because you have to here. But you might be able to get a fight in with the Diva.
He's not
Is he
jumping.
Not? No, he's staying. Okay, this makes next fight even better. Using Orbital Ray and forcing Kitsune Rush is great if you're saying Xavier, because that means you have support ult advantage. Gosh is going to have it before anybody else.
They might not realize that Diva's not back in mech.
They will, because they don't.
They will soon.
They don't see him switch, and they don't see him jump off the map.
So now they know. We might see them just press W here.
They should.
Bob is back online, which could be really, really good for point pressure. They're going to try and take out this Diva. The Diva gets Zuzu'd, and the ball dies.
That's just what Torbjorn does. He's got so much damage on those right clicks, such a fast fire rate during overload, and Bob might be in your backline, but the fights are done.
Yeah, I think both teams kind of just turtling, stabilizing, trying to take their respective parts of the map that they want to control here.
The more control St. Xavier gets, the better. Not just because control on map is good for head, but also just they are going to slowly inch this cart forward.
I want to see what... Oh, that could be a big Ana pick, but I want to see what the Pharah does with this ult here. Looks like she's down main, and she uses it, gets a pick on the cast, but that gets traded. The ball gets traded here. They're looking for the Ana on Tiffin, but okay, they do get that pick, and that's going to put St. Xavier... Okay, they've traded. It's even, I think, just 3 and 3. Big Diva play, getting 2 here. But will it be enough? The Diva has Bomb, which is going to be really, really good for stalling point, and I think they are just going to opt to leave, St. Xavier opts to just give up that fight. Now, looking here, you have a slight advantage here for St. Xavier because you have Kitsune Rush and Tiffin doesn't. So if you use this early, you can really apply pressure here.
I think St. Xavier, no matter who they've had on tank, they've been struggling to find purchase with that player. It's been the case with Telm, it's been the case with Monkey. Both of them have struggled to find ways to get value.
Yeah, I mean, we see Kitsune Rush used early here on point. They're trying to get the Cassidy, and they get the ball. I don't think the Cassidy doesn't even die. They trade for the ball. Everybody's really low on point. Molten Core gets used. Kiriko dies to the Molten Core. Diva's engaging onto the Juno. Juno's just a little bit too slippery here, I think. This is really, really scrappy. Kitsune Rush from Tiffin on point. Almost a back cap there, too. Back on ball, but yeah, you don't win that. And that's where the cart is going to stop. The win condition has been set for both teams here. The cart almost getting to second point, so we'll see who takes this.
The big narrative I want to set right now is St. Xavier's tank line. No matter who they've had playing tank, no matter what has been the character of choice, it's been a struggle, and it's not necessarily their fault. I don't want to pin it on them exclusively, but the team has struggled to work around their tank player, whoever's been on it, partially because the supports for Tiffin have been doing an excellent job repelling who has been on tank for St. Xavier, but also just these timings seem a bit off. The target selection, the the knowledge of how deep you can go hasn't been there for the St. Xavier tank, and I want to see a little bit more on that front. And I do think that with that one small boost, St. Xavier will make this look much more competitive, because we saw the tank play looked good on the first 2 rounds, or first 2 rounds of Ilios, and it's starting to slip.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point about the Tiffin backline has really just been made of different material here. They've survived against all odds in a lot of these fights.
And there's no Brig. Brig is a necessity against Ball 80% of the time, and they're not doing it. They're just living on this.
I think they're playing what they're comfortable on. They're playing what they know how to play.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've seen dives onto this Ana or Timbo flanking and almost picking the Ana off, but still, the Ana not dying in most of these engagements. Really, really impressive gameplay here from Zepsi.
100%. It's very important to keep your supports alive. Support, arguably the most impactful role, even after a whole passive was introduced to make it worse, right? The DPS passive, but still so impactful and so important to have your supports alive.
Okay, we're going to see Timbo playing in wide angle. You don't see people playing there all that often. He's going to just retreat out. That makes sense. We're going to speed poking and prodding. And wow, an assassination from the Junkrat there onto the Ashe. That's a really good pick there for them.
Yeah, that's nasty. A nice spear as well from Monkey to slow things down. And Suzu's gone. Yeah, this
Cream, and that's Nade going in. That's Suzu used, and the Torb getting picked here. Really, really good for Tiffin here.
Yeah, I mean, Junkrat is very good against Torbjorn in particular. They were anticipating the ball immediately. You're going to see Tom switch back over the far. I think it's a good call. But you were expecting the ball. You were expecting maybe something here if you're Tom. And it's going to be a lot more difficult to play Torbjorn into Junkrat.
Xavier playing really far up here. This is, I don't entirely know why they're playing here. This is going to open them up to flanks here. If somebody from Tiffin flanks around, I mean, you have no positional advantage here from St. Xavier.
Yeah, and so much pressure being put onto Monkey as well.
And look, Tiffin just rotates. They just take the high ground for free. And now they flip the map essentially.
It's a great call, but who's on cart?
Ooh.
They can just walk it down. Cream is dead. That was your cart push.
And that's really good, because that's Kitsune Rush out of the fight here. If Gosh wants to use Kitsune Rush here, that's going to be unanswered, but Tiffin is going to use Nano Boost here onto the Diva. The Cassidy gets picked here, and I think they're just going to have to disengage. And the Ana gets picked late. Unfortunate. And you hate to see Nano Boost being used there, because it got not much value.
Excuse me. I love the temperance there from Cuz to not overextend with the Nano as well. Just play it slow, play it safe. You know that you're going to int if you go in. So just, that's a decision I wouldn't make. I'm an inter, I'll be honest. So it's good to see that.
Interesting Kitsune Rush here, and it goes into the wall again.
Okay, that was a bit tougher.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, I'll admit. And that's a tire onto the Kiriko of St. Xavier. They get the picks early, and they clean up. They know the Pharah is back here.
I don't think they'll chase it down.
Wait. Okay, yeah. So, St. Xavier's just going to try and hold the high ground. No, they have to concede that to the Diva. They have to full reset here.
Yeah, just because Cuz is here, they have all the stakes required to hold in order to get this full cap. They need to force high ground, and they need to do it fast.
There we go. They forced high ground with Kitsune Rush. Arisa getting a pretty good ult here. They're going to go after the Ana here. Kiriko and Ana. Okay, both supports are down for Tiffin. I think this is a fight win for St. Xavier. Crater still, wait, they're still pushing the point.
Yeah, not for long though. They'll get a nice little bit of change when it comes to meters. They're going to stagger Cuz. Cuz has to jump off the map. No way you're getting a crunch kill here.
Yeah, there he goes. All right, and that's a pretty economic fight win there for St. Xavier. Use your Kitsune Rush and stabilize here, which is really what you need to do here. You need to get a really, really good defense here. So now you're looking to use your ults, cycle your ults, and buy more time.
And it's looking very winnable, especially against Junkrat on, Blizzard World second. If you can have a solid ult rotation here, Deadeye Bomb, not ults you're scared of. Barrage Orbital Ray, they can end fight solo.
Yeah, oh, and we might see Barrage here. No, good. That was some very good discipline there from Telm. Not go in too deep, not feed. And you use Ray when it probably wasn't necessary, but still, you start the ult cycle. Cuz is going off the map. That makes sense.
You have to. You're literally throwing if you don't, right there.
But you start the ult cycle because, once again, Tiffin has no ults that you're really scared of. They're going to get them very soon. They're going to get both support ults very soon, and you want to try and force them to use them in bad situations. But as of right now, you don't have to worry about that. So let's see if Telm can get a good barrage here to close out this next fight.
And you would have loved to use Barrage that fight to confirm it. You hate using Orbital Ray because the support ults are about to be online. Do they live?
And that's Bomb. Gets nobody, but Monkey does go down first here. Telm needs to get something done here, but he's getting hard focused by the D.Va. Rush is used, which, the staggers are coming through. Both supports are stuck in this room. There's no escape for either of them, and these are going to be some really, really brutal staggers as the cart walks in. High Noon out for Crater, and oh, he gets 2 with Barrage, but it's not enough. Oh, that's a heartbreaker to see, because St. Xavier might have won that fight if they got the touch.
The problem, though, is nobody could. Like, even if, like, yes, you might be able to win the fight, but they were in a checkmate scenario. Like, Telm gets 2 with the Barrage there at the very end, I think it was. But, oh no, it wasn't Telm, it was the other Pharah. It was for Tiffin. No, it was Telm. What am I thinking? I'm losing my mind, don't mind me.
Telm did get 2,
I
and then lost.
lose my mind from time to time.
I completely understand that. So, that's going to be Blizzard World being taken once again by Tiffin, and that's St. Xavier's map pick. That's really rough because you're on match point here.
And it's fluid map selection as well. So once you lose a map, you can pick anything in the game as long as it's not in a played game mode. So now St. Xavier has selection of a payload map, a push map, or a flashpoint map. That they can pick any map from those 3 categories here. What we've seen a lot of the time, I will say, when we see reverse sweeps in pro play, is it often comes down to something like this. You pick hybrid early, it doesn't go your way, and then you go on to Flashpoint, and then you just happen to do well on Flashpoint, or you go over to Push. Push and Flashpoint, very similar in the macro of how you play them. If you win one, you're very likely to win the other. All of a sudden, it's 2-2. All of a sudden, the other team is tilted, like, we should have ended this. All of a sudden, you might be able to win.
Yeah, and both of those game modes, both Flash and Push, very notoriously momentum-based.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you can get a good few fights early game, you can pretty effectively, if you play your cards right, just pretty effectively steamroll through the rest of the map. Do we have any idea on bans?
Route 66.
Okay. Route 66. So we're going to see a push map
What was
here.
the second part there?
D.Va ban.
D.Va. That makes
ban.
entire sense. If you're St. Xavier, you want to play, this could be a hit, like you want a specific hit scan to succeed here. Like you might want to play the Pharah again. Pharah is very countered by D.Va. D.Va is just very good tank on route as well. You want to try to force the Winston mirror maybe here. D.Va really throws a wrench into any main tank player's pool. Speaking from experience, I kind of transition.
She throws a wrench into a lot of supports pools as well. Yeah, we did just get comms that we are going to have a short break here. So I think for the time being, we're going to take it to a short break on broadcast and then come back when we're ready to get into the next game. So
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. Alrighty, everybody, we're back. We got caught slacking a little bit, but we're here. We're already in the game here. As you can see, it is Route 66. The bans are D.Va and Pharah here. So it's going to be interesting here to see how these teams are going to tackle with these team comps with these bans.
Yeah, specifically though, St. Xavier, they were the first ones to ban. They banned away that D.Va selection. And, you know, when that happened, you can attest, the first thing I said was, so they want to play Pharah. And I didn't expect Tiffin to be so, like, on the money with their follow-up ban onto the Pharah. Granted, when you have a Junkrat player, you're looking out for any reason to ban Pharah, and this is the perfect opportunity to do so.
And the St. Xavier Pharah that last game was pretty solid, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So they also knew that St. Xavier ran that in this series. So, you know, it's not all that surprising to see that Pharah ban come through. On the other side, we're going to see Tiffin sticking with what seems to be working, and the Zarya is emoting.
Hanzo.
That might just be for a pick.
Yeah. No. So this is something that used to happen a lot back in like 2019. If you notice, did you notice?
I was bronze in 2019. Okay.
That's right. So Timbo sonar arrow train to check for spawn cap.
Oh my God! The Zarya getting absolutely melted there, and I think St. Xavier's going to press the gas pedal here. That Kiri gets the
Okay,
other
Cream,
Kiri.
no way.
No, oh my goodness. But still, St. Xavier wins this team fight pretty cleanly. I think the Czar overextended a little bit and or burned bubbles. And St. Xavier sets up on top of the gas station and move the payload.
Couple of key counter picks here. Cuz goes over to the Hazard. You can't play Diva into this. You would love to play Diva, I think, if you're Tiffin, but the Hazard mirror, yeah, it's banned. So you're forcing the Hazard mirror. And then Zepsi is going over to the Juno, which I think it's a really bad pick here because Hazard just kills Juno.
Yeah,
Exhibit,
Yeah.
perchance? No save?
kind of surprised we don't see either a Brig or a Lucio here. Okay, trades coming through. The Sojourn for Tiffin dies and the Hazard for St. Xavier dies. I think that's going to favor Tiffin in the long run.
100%.
St. Xavier's going to find it hard to push here without their tank. And looks like there might be some stagger kills coming in here from Tiffin. We are going to see the same backline for both sides, interestingly enough.
Yeah, I mean, Brig Juno was kind of a selection of choice a little bit during the Hazard meta that we were subject to, but it ends up being more so Kiri Lucio, because Lucio's better at hiding away from the Hazard and keeping himself safe.
And
Timbo, nice.
Juno dies for right off the bat. And St. Xavier's getting picks here. Up 2, up 3. I think this is going to be a fight win for St. Xavier. Man, they are pissed, and they are here to play.
They've woken up. Like, this is a great change of
They
pace.
turned on their monitors.
They really did. And small note, Monkey is back on DPS. Telm is now over to the tank. Maybe they wanted to. Maybe this is just a specifically Ballin Winston type of thing where you put Monkey on tank. And now Monkey is looking pretty decent. Telm did have an unfortunate death, a little bit of an overextension. If he calms that down, I am excited to see what St. Xavier can.
Wait, and that wall splits off Tiffin. Not quite going to get a pick here. And in fact, Tiffin might get the Hazard here. He's getting pressured like crazy. Tear it down, comes down, and hits nobody. Unfortunate.
A whiff downpour is never what you want to see. It's one of the more important ultimates in these situations.
That's overclock for Timbo. The Tiffin Hazard gets really low and dies early. Do they get a trade here? Both Sojourns, I think, pop over. No, that's just Timbo popping overclock, and he's good for 2 in this fight.
Yeah, and a little bit of stagger.
There we go. Nice cleanup there. We're gonna see presumably St. Xavier take the high ground. Yep, and they're gonna push up into this doorway because they know this is where Tiffin wants to come back through, and Tiffin's gonna have to run in here pretty quickly. Granted, they have the ult advantage here. Tire comes out.
Wow. All right. No tire for you, I suppose.
Yeah, never mind, I guess. Trades coming through. That's going to be the Juno. Good for 3 on Tiffin. Overclock gets 1, and it's going to be, I think, a final stagger here. Onto the Sojourn for St. Xavier University. That's a really, really good fight win there for Tiffin.
Yep, huge to stabilize there. It did only cost, it cost you, actually, no, I was going to say it only cost you 2 ults, but then I realized it was 3, then I realized it was 4. Expensive fight for Tiffin there, all things considered. St. Xavier only popped 1. That's the last ult for Tiffin.
That's an early rush. That is a very early rush.
Look at that. You also saw Monkey through the wall. If Tiffin stays here, the cart will be pushed. And they know.
I don't think they know. Oh, yeah,
They know.
he's here.
They are knowers.
And that's rush from St. Xavier, but that's down main. That's not anywhere near the cart.
It's fine, though, because Cuz is gone.
And that's trade. Citron gets 2 on the Juno. Juno's absolutely having a really good day from both teams here.
It's Portal Combat.
There's a third.
It's just a Portal Combat.
It's
0 kills. 0 kills that fight from a DPS or a tank, by the way.
There's a tear rolling down my cheek right now. This is beautiful gameplay.
Me
for
too, not because I like it.
We're crying for very, very different reasons.
I literally just made a YouTube video ranting about how it would nerf every support. I'm that guy.
I'm a support player, but I'm an Overwatch 1 support player, so I don't want to be the one who deals damage. But alas. Crater getting Telm early here. I think Tiffin's going to use that to stabilize and build their own ults. Though they're quite a ways away from anything super impactful. Rain being the closest at 80%. But St. Xavier here has a lot of tools to crack this offense here. Rain, which they're going to use here as an opener. And they hit the Soj and just immediately gets wiped off the face of the earth.
Might be able to get the Kiriko here, but instead Timbo's going to have to find one with Vortex. And they pop the Ray to close this out?
Interesting. I guess they just wanted to be really sure, which, fair enough. I don't know if that was necessary.
Greater over
but
Genji.
I'm also in the lower bracket, so, you know, I don't know what that says about me.
No, you're correct. Like, popping the Ray there for assurance is very suspect when that is your... The respawns are going to be severe here. You need that to close.
And that's Rain from Tiffin opening with that and the tire, but Timbo takes out, and he takes out the tire too. That is huge. Timbo's good for 2. Can he get the Genji here? No, he's going to turn his attention back to point. Heroic gameplay here from my GOAT Timbo on the Sojourn. Kitsune rush for good measure, and that's a full cap for St. Xavier with 2 minutes left.
2 minutes! Is this the Xavier we have been seeing? Where did this come from?
They turned on their monitors, dude.
They locked in.
They realized Overwatch was on 60 hertz.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm not putting it out there until it happens.
That's true. That's true.
I'm not putting it out there until I see the line. I see a line, but I don't think it's the line.
Yeah. So we got a couple seconds before we see the team picks, but I'm curious. Are we just going to see both teams run what they've been running, or are we going to see any counter swaps? Because the Sojourn was working pretty well there for St. Xavier.
Yeah. They banned it, by the way. Like in the previous map, they banned it. And now I'm really starting to question why.
NA coaching, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know what to say.
That's the near airport allegations coming back.
NA is such a silly region.
Dude. For anybody who keeps up with professional Overwatch, last night there was the Soup Cup, which had its,
That's the Korean tournament, right? Yeah.
But Virtus Pro, the best EMEA team, and Nightmare, the best NA team, were both invited.
Interesting.
And they both got a bye. Nightmare got mollywopped, aka the NA team, and the EMEA team beat the ever-loving crap out of their matchup. So the number 4 Korean team beat the best in NA. The number 3 Korean team got destroyed by the number 1
nearest airport. We really just hate playing this game in North America.
It's so jovery.
We lose. Wait, what is this? St. Xavier holding really close. Get the Lucio right off the bat. Suzu pop to save the hazard. And that's a very fast and clean fight win here for St. Xavier. Really crazy spawn hold.
Yeah, he hits the bag as well. I love a little bit of BM. See, the team who scouts the spawn hold is most likely to commit it themselves. And we're seeing that here. St. Xavier scouted out for a spawn hold. They saw it wasn't happening. They saw that they weren't even thinking about it, and now they find their opportunity. Early. The sleep misses.
Nana is just getting pressured here, but the Venture gets traded here. Hazard's getting really low for St. Xavier.
You get an adequate spawn hold though here. Usually you want a spawn hold to be 45 seconds to a minute at bare minimum. You get that, and you get that marker just about. You win that one fight. You get an ultimate advantage. Look at this. Gosh, at 73% closest to the ultimate here. The only problem that you're faced with in this situation is that Cream built up more sound barrier charge than you might want. And given the fact that this is the second round, it's tough to track that specific number. You might just assume Lucio's at 40-50.
Yeah, well, the nice thing about the scoreboard is that you can get a good idea of when they're going to have their first ultimate just based on... Oh, wait, no, because the scoreboard... Never mind. Bad comms. Bad comms. I forgot about that. Ana gets a pick here. That's going to be the Venture engaging here.
A miscomm, perhaps. It seems as though the rest of St. Xavier were still too far back to assist.
But the cart marches on for Tiffin. Timbo gets a pick onto the Czar. That's really big. Kitsune Rush gets popped here. I think that's a fair play to try and make sure you win this fight. The Venture, and that's St. Xavier turning that with a really big opening pick from Timbo, and then the Kitsune Rush to close it out.
Reminder, that spawn hold took off 1 minute, that push took off another, and now they're back at spawn. They've got Beat, they've got Deadeye, they've got Tectonic Shock. St. Xavier popped the first ultimate, and now half your time is gone. You're starting to sweat a little bit if you're Tiffin here. Things are starting to get concerning. And again, I will say no bias, but things are looking good for St. Xavier.
Yeah. We're going to see Tiffin start walking in here. Venture forced out. Tiffin taking the low road here for the most part.
Tectonic Shock will be matched by the Beat here.
Ajax does not happen. Vortex King getting the opening pick onto the Kiriko. The Sojourn popping overclock. Mana Boost got popped there too for Tiffin. Oh, it's press Q Overwatch. Wait, what? And Grab comes out. That's going to be both St. Xavier players getting caught out, and Tiffin turns that.
Dude, the crowd is electric, dude.
Oh,
that grab was an incredible clutch. I thought it was over. Monkey hit the 2K with a single drill dash. Tiffin, it's Cuz. Cuz saves it at the waiting moments. It looks like that was a potential full hold to turn St. Xavier Spirits. But no, they fight on.
Yeah, wow, that was really, really good there. But okay, first point done. Now you got to look to second point. You got to take this high ground from St. Xavier, and that's a tall ask. Vortex King on the Venture just gets swatted when he tries to take that high ground. And I think Tiffin's walking in here. Tiffin's walking in here. They're on the low ground. This is where they want to play.
Yeah, Monkey's able to stall a little bit with that burrow, is going to give Helm some time to recuperate and recontest.
They flipped the map. No, wait, they didn't. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. Bad comms, bad comms.
The doors haven't half shut, by the way, so they're holding this at full difficulty.
Wait, that's Vortex King in with Tectonic Shock. Just going after the... Oh,
1 HP!
Oh!
And Telma got 2! Telma got 2 in the back line!
This is big plays from St. Xavier here.
And the beautiful stagger, you needed that. I don't even know if Cuz had charge. You needed that just for the momentum.
Yeah.
And you need that so Zepsi doesn't get ult charge. You need that so Cuz doesn't leave with charge.
I mean, hey, St. Xavier had to lock in or clock out.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, they're still on the clock. They're still here to play.
And now they've gone back to the Junkrat. I thought the Venture was doing okay, but clearly Vortex King a little bit concerned about it. Look at this. Telma's just in.
And Kitsune Rush pops for Gosh. Gets killed. Where did the rain go? Okay, there we go. That's going to get 2 picks there for St. Xavier at the cost of 3 ultimates.
And you reset.
Cuz jumps, yeah, 0 charge, that makes sense. But good fight win for St. Xavier, but a very expensive fight win.
100%.
That benefits Tiffin, because look at their ult economy. 3 ults at 90%. All you have for St. Xavier is this Venture, and you're going to be hard-pressed to get good value on it. Now, granted, this is the team comp to use that ult against. The only person with vertical mobility are Junkrat and Lucio.
Jasaria's got the right click jumps at least, but Citron is the key here. You want to take a slow fight here or a very, very fast fight to build right. And Sepsi!
Gosh, the Ana immediately dying beat gets popped here, but you're down your flex support, and the kills just come through. The momentum is all in St. Xavier's favor, and for completely free. You hear that? $0.00. St. Xavier gets a fight win there with an incredible opening pick onto the Ana. And you get the Kitsune Rush out of Tiffin, which is a huge fight-winning ultimate.
It's not even free. It's better than free, and now Cuz is walled off. Forces the Nano, forces the Suzu. There's so much use.
Telma immediately gets exploded here. Monkey pops Tectonic Shock, but gets killed for his efforts. And Tiffin's going to walk in here. All they use here is the Nano Boost.
It'll have to be an OT cap, though. Tiffin will have 2, like you say, but with both support ults gone, tempo drops super low. That's concerning. And Citron as well, so you gotta live.
If St. X gets, well, I was gonna say if St. X takes a quick fight, then they can get 2, but they're not taking a quick fight, so they're gonna get 1 here. And you're at an ult disadvantage. This Ray has to be really big. That's Suzu used. Ray gets used early. St. X is bet down both supports. Grab, Deadeye gets used. Timbo gets a pick, but you're still down 2. Is he good for more? Junkrat dies, and St. X
Wait, what?
that. They got all the picks. It's just Cuz left on point, but he's out of bubbles and out of options and out of time. OT counts down, and St. X wins the match. They are still here, and they are still here to play.
Unbelievable! It was done. It was over. Second point was going to Tiffin. And then I look at the kill feed. Red, blue, red.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, incredible series here.
What a turnaround.
Yeah. Wow. And, you know, St. Xavier staying in it at the last moment and coming back with a message here, too. I mean, they 3-1'd, and they had 2 minutes to spare.
Yeah.
Like, even if Tiffin caps, they have a worse time bank.
Almost guaranteed overtime. You get a minute and a half for capping the second point heading into third. A minute and a half is not enough to cap with time unless you steamroll that third point. And let me tell you, you are not steamrolling that third point. If you have ever played Overwatch, you have. I have. You're never
I've
steamrolling
played quite a
third.
bit of Overwatch, in fact.
A few hours.
Well, one or two.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, I'm really excited to see what Tiffin elects to pick here and what their ban is going to be. But yeah, wow, that's so many clutch ups there from St. Xavier. And I love to see it, you know. There's the only thing, like, the worst thing you can have in Overwatch is just a 3-0 steamroll.
Yeah.
That's like, it helps nobody. It's not fun to play, not fun to watch. So we want close games, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and really this is a testament to how bad Tiffin wants, or not Tiffin, but how bad St. Xavier wants it.
Yeah.
I've been in this situation before. I'll be honest, like, throughout my hundreds of hours of tournament experience, I've been in these situations before. I've laid down and died. I've just taken it. I've been like, all right, it's lost. We give up. I've also had times where I've been in St. Xavier's shoes, and I've been like, you know what? No, we keep fighting. We are not done until the bell rings.
What do you have left to lose at that point?
Like, they lose. The pressure at this LAN is very high because most LANs would have double elim. This does not have double elim. The time constraints don't allow it.
It has sort of double elim.
It has a lower bracket, right, if you look at it here. I'm sure that most people who are watching this are aware. But yeah, you've got that lower bracket that's more so for, you know, placements.
Yeah.
And
once you lose, you cannot win the whole thing.
You don't want to be fighting for 7th. You don't want to be fighting for 5th. You want to be fighting in that finals.
Yeah.
And St. Xavier, the way that they clutched up, the way that Telm pulled off what I was asking for, I was practically begging for the tank play to be better for St. Xavier.
He locked in.
I got it.
He locked in.
Like, I just got exactly what I asked for.
Yeah. And it's really incredible to see. I mean, absolutely ironclad mental. Because when you're in that kind of situation, down 2-0, it's really hard to keep playing at 100%. Yeah. And these players are still out here playing at 100%. And I love to see it. This is really, really fun to watch.
Yep, 100%. And so for context, by the way, everybody, next map, I can see it. I'm giving you a bit of a spoiler. I think our producer is setting it up for you guys right now. It's going to be Flashpoint, right? And I said before, I don't remember if it was on stream or between, but when you win, okay, so yeah, Tiffin picks Saravasa and then banned Venture, and then St. Xavier banned the Ana. It's Saravasa, Flashpoint. Usually, what you see in these situations, when a team loses the first map control, loses the next map, it's generally hybrid. Even if they select it, they'll lose it. We've seen so many times in Overwatch's history, especially come Overwatch 2, a team will win push or Flashpoint. They will win payload. And then you'll go to that 5th map pick. You'll go all the way. The team who started off 2-0, all they can think about, all that's in their mind, we should have won. We should have taken this by this point. This should not have been going this long. I've been there. I'm sure you've been there. We've all been there at some point.
In our regular season this year, we almost got reverse swept.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
Feeling.
It's hard, yeah. Especially when you aren't playing well on that day, and then you feel guilty. So the mental gets really hard. It gets really hard to stay locked in.
Yeah. It's not happened yet. It's still match point for Tiffin. You still see plenty of times where a team will put up that one final push, and then it's done. And then they lose. And now Deve is back on the table. Tiffin now has access to that tank pick that the crowd is electric. They are just
what is going on out
living right now. They are just alive.
This is really, really fun.
This is the LAN experience, man.
This is the LAN experience. It's real. And I almost didn't have this experience.
Hey, thank goodness you did. Happy to have you.
I'm happy to be here. All right. Well, we're going to see the same backline from both sides, but very different DPS and tank combos. Let's see how this plays out. Let's see who wins.
I mean, I like to see the hazard from Telm. They're committing to what works. Monkey on the Tracer. This is actually a very standard composition from Xavier. You just expect a Brig instead of Fury or a Lucio instead of the Juno.
Yeah, and we're going to see St. Xavier play this bridge area. Really try to take control here, but Tiffin's going to get the first control, and the Juno gets just overextends a little bit and gets exploded there. Junkrat's going to be next, but Crater gets an evening, and it's even.
The backline was left exposed, and Tiffin finds the perfect avenue to punish.
Timbo, it's trades. It's 2-2.
St. Xavier grabbed the cap as well, bring the super low. You have to find that pick here and now.
Yeah, I think the Kiri dies.
Great DM.
There we go. But the Kiri still dies. And I think you just leave this as Tiffin. You want to minimize. Wait, no, but the respawns are coming in. This is a really, really scrappy fight.
Yeah, going in there for Telm. He wants to find Vortex King, but Vortex is gone, and they have kept the cap. They have survived. They've sustained.
And like with that, St. Xavier gets 50% and really close to the first ultimate, which is going to be Pulse Bomb, it looks like.
Most likely, Timbo getting pressured. Will survive, but they're giving him a lot of space here, man.
Juno falling really low for Tiffin. Everybody on Tiffin's falling really low. That's going to be Pulse Bomb thrown on D.Va. Forces Remac out. And it gets Kiriko. The bomb gets Kiriko.
Stationary one at that.
That's wild. And St. Xavier's more than happy to stall this fight out as long as possible. Pick onto the Tracer for St. Xavier.
Look at the time.
But the cap? Where's the cap?
They need to find a contest. Downpour is here, so they have that opportunity, but nobody's there. They can't.
They just leave it, and that's really, really well played there for St. X. Pick onto the Junkrat here coming through. That's just, I mean, that's just a bonus here. Ensures you get a safe rotation to the next point, which looks like it is going to be this Fountain point, which actually Tiffin gets priority here.
Yeah.
Unless, no, they're just rotating through Fountain.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Okay, there we go.
This one's not Garden. I don't remember what they're called.
I
know that there's Temple. I know that there's Garden. I know that there's.
It's that point. That's what it's called in my mind. All right. St. X, or who? Oh no, Tiffin electing to go early with Kitsune Rush, but St. X is the one who gets all of the picks here. Ray used by St. X. Interesting.
It's been questionable Ray usage this whole series. If Citron locks that down, then they genuinely have a shot to make it really deep through this match and really pressure Tiffin. But even if they don't, it seems as though Tiffin struggling to match.
Yeah, and we see here St. X. I mean, look at this momentum. 4 or 3 ults on the board, almost 4. You have the point cap. Tiffin has Tire, which could be good. It could be literally nothing. And they get Ray, which is probably going to be Tiffin's win condition here is Ray. You want to get a really, really freakishly good Ray. Genji going down low, and they're just going to pop both of their ults here. And you get Overclock off the board. That's a big pick for Vortex. Ray is on point. Trade comes through. But they're up. So yeah, St. X is up.
Really big time on the deflect there. It's just cuz.
Wow.
Just give him the trap.
I mean, what do you say here? Tiffin had...
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, Tiffin had everything. And St. X is clawing it back.
Zepsi's over to the Moira now. They're trying to find fast heroes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Cuz has to invest everything. It's a wall. It's beautiful.
Oh my gosh. That's insane.
What's happening?
We can hear him getting loud out there, and for good reason. This is ridiculous gameplay here for St. X.
Unbelievable. This is actually unbelievable. This is one of the... I've seen so many reverse sweeps in my time. I'm so old. This is one of the starkest difference pre and post I've ever seen. Yeah. And granted, we're on map 4, so it's a bit early to call that, but this is such a stark difference from St. Xavier.
Yeah, I mean, and they're still on the Moira. Tiffin is still on the Moira.
Yeah.
For, I don't know why. You don't have Cole. It doesn't provide for the dive.
Maybe it does.
I mean, okay, they get Citron here early. They're up 1. No trades are coming through. Kiriko uses TP. I think Tiffin wins this, which is good. Yeah. That's what you need to see here.
Yeah.
And they get a trade, but I think Talon just dies. Yeah. Tracer's still on point.
Yeah, Monkey's not going to be able to hit the solo clutch, I don't think. It's just them versus Moira, and Moira's got so much sustain, and there's 3 people now.
But look at this stall. This is absolutely criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, because
they're still on?
Tiffin hasn't capped. Tiffin has not capped.
I'm mind blown. The Pulse Bomb goes a bit wide. The Kitsune Rush is forced. They are happy with this, even with the Deadeye. Now the Kid's in. They're going hard. Grip Tire in. They're pumping everything in. And Vortex King.
Fury. That's a really big pick. But the rain is so big, and a 2K from Citron.
There's no way. They pop the Coalescence as well. They're trying to find Citron, but Citron lives. They can't. The cap. There's no cap. St. Xavier.
Oh my gosh. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Folks, if you don't normally watch Overwatch, this is very, very uncommon for this to happen. This is, I mean, Tiffin, you have to cap this point, otherwise you go to double match point. Like you have to win this point here. And all they have is Blade. And a dry Blade. That's not very good.
No, nothing for St. Xavier, though. You have that as your solace here if you're Tiffin. You can pop the Blade, you can pop the engagement because it's gone!
Oh my gosh. Okay, but they get a trade onto Timbo. The trades are coming through and the Blade is good. The Blade gets 2 at least. I think it's a 2v1. I don't think Monkey wins this.
Highly doubtful, and no. Finally, they get it back on the board. Finally, they're back in it. It looked over for Tiffin, I'm going to be honest.
Moira. Please get off Moira. Look, I love playing Moira. I genuinely enjoy playing Moira. But anything you can do on Moira, you can do better on basically any other support.
Yeah, the things you want to do on Moira, you already have Kiriko for, and Kiriko's just better at the job if you can hit your shots. Might not be a comfort
And Talm is running it down, but they kill the Junkrat right off the bat. No trades coming through. Timbo pops High Noon. He gets 2. Oh my goodness.
Do you see how much attention he brought to himself? Crater goes for him. He still gets 2. And he lives. And you stagger cuts. Is this done? We're going to map 5.
Guys, what are we watching?
Cream might. No!
He doesn't.
It's map 5. It's just map 5.
That's it. And that's a 3-0 on the flash point. Man, if you show me the first half of this game and the second half of this game, I'm like,
you'd think it's a scrim. Why are they playing 4 maps?
No, you'd think it's like if you show me the 2 halves separately, I tell you this happened. The first half happened 1 year and the second half happened another year.
I mean, if you hid the team names and showed me this back to back, I would legitimately think it's a scrim, and I would think that one team has been steamrolling the whole time.
This is just it's night and day. I mean. Wow. I've run out of words to say.
We sound so biased right now. But I'm...
Okay, I am biased, though. I will admit to that. I said that right off the bat, that I have stake in this race, okay?
Let me be clear personally. I am not biased. Your job as a caster is to set a narrative. It's to tell the people what could happen. Usually you're wrong. Usually you're looking for bright sides. Usually you're watching a team get dismantled in front of you and you're like, they can still do something. They can still find a way through this. So very rare do I get the opportunity to be correct. And it is so beautiful to watch a team who I have written off in my mind, and yet my mouth disagrees, and yet my mind is incorrect. It is such a unique experience.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of games that get this exciting. So, as a caster, it's fun to actually be able to hype up teams and hype up matches and have it not be in vain.
Yeah. It's going to be a quick 10-minute break just for all of you to be aware. I'm guessing that somebody is needing to go to the bathroom or something, but whatever it may be, we will be back in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere.
Alrighty, everybody, we're back, and we're about to get back into this 5-map banger of a series. St. Xavier against Tiffin. We're in reverse sweep territory. I'm so excited. I'm ready to get into this. You want to tell us what the map and bans are?
Oh, it got spicy. It got real spicy. As you can see here, Tiffin selected Li Zhang. And if there's one character you are hoping to play if you're Tiffin here on Li Zhang, it's Junkrat. Guess what St. Xavier banned? Why don't you? I'll give you one hint. It involves junk and rats.
That's 2 hints.
Well, no, that's one hint. It's just a two-pronged hint. It is a bipartisan hint.
Alrighty, keep going.
And then for the side of St. Xavier, Tiffin banned Hazard, and then St. Xavier banned the Junkrat. So
we got a spicy game here.
It is the spiciest of Game 5s. Li Zhang, when one team has a Junkrat specialist, and the Junkrat is banned. And Li Zhang, where the past 2 maps have been Hazard hard carries, and the Hazard is banned. This is borderline Uncharted territory. This is back to Ilios level Uncharted territory. Unfortunately for Tiffin, I should say, I think that St. Xavier have all the momentum in the world. Even with that 10-minute break, I think that they have all the momentum in the world. And even with Hazard gone, you still have options like Orisa. I was thinking Ramatra. I think Ramatra is your best case scenario here for St. Xavier. It is the closest to Hazard in gameplay while still fulfilling that brawly sort of survival niche.
Baptiste.
That is a Baptiste on my screen. Why is he there? That character's not good. He has some of the best numbers in the game, but he's not good. Why is he here? With a Zarya, no less, and no Lucia.
This is gonna get scrappy real quick, I think. Okay, no Lucio here. We're gonna see Tiffin opt to go left side. St. Xavier just go basically straight to point, and I think St. Xavier wins the positioning war here.
100%. They speed out of spawn. It beats out the TP out of spawn because they keep that speed boost from the speed ring.
Yeah, okay, Cuz is gonna walk in. The Bap gets picked immediately.
And they waste no time hitting the go trigger either. That tank gone. They might trade
onto the, okay. Never mind, St. Xavier's just gonna win that. Yeah, they jump off the map, that makes sense. You quick reset, wave respawns go, and we go into the next fight here.
I was concerned that maybe the momentum was gone for St. Xavier. Did that break hurt it? Nope, doesn't look it.
Not one bit. St. X looks completely in control here. And they're gonna opt to go left side again. Tiffin really liking this rotate, which I don't entirely get it, because you don't have to worry about boops here other than the Orisa, but I don't know, they're gonna play on point here. They're gonna try and brawl it out here.
And now you've got a max charge Zarya on the field. Cuz is a massive threat, especially to this Orisa. You can't block that damage.
And the trades come through. Brig and Orisa both down. Who's gonna get the next pick here?
It's favoring Tiffin right now with your tank online, but Crater drops low. It's a big engage from Monkey.
That's a really big kill onto the Venture there. The Kiri TPs, but I think you just kill it. What? That's overclock being used by Timbo. But the Soch, he gets one, but the Soch for Tiffin just gets two. With no, just dry, no overclock. That's a rough ult to get used. And Timbo, the Soch gets picked there. Very good fight when their window gets used somewhere. Okay. Very big fight win there for Tiffin.
We're seeing a fundamental part of esports. This is overheating, where you think that you've got the clutch, where you've played well and you think that you can hit the button, and Timbo just goes a little bit too hard, a little bit too fast. That's an overheat.
Yep. And that's grab. Both tank ults being popped. Oh, that's a double from the Venture. That's a double from... Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Huge clutch up from Monkey there on the Venture. And that's both tank ults. St. Xavier did use... Okay, St. Xavier did use Kitsune Rush.
Dog.
Which is not great.
Dog.
But you won the fight.
What is happening in my esport?
Oh my gosh. Man, the rest of these people, the rest of esports, they're sleeping on GLEC, man. This is some crazy storylines here.
And they've got the rate. Rally is amazing. They've got the rate. This is last fight.
And Tiffin's taking forever to walk in. Now granted, the Zarya in charge, and they're just using everything. They're just popping everything. Okay. St. X.
Tiffin stabilized.
Yeah, Tiffin really good there. Saving abilities. Monkey almost dying there on the Venture. And Curie just gets the door.
The Suzu's perfect to keep Telm alive, and the Fortify as well. Crater dropping low.
And the Soch, both Soch with overclock.
Is gone.
Oh my gosh.
That's one.
And St. X wins this. St. X wins this. They just wiped Tiffin.
It's happening. It's happening. It's real. It might just be. They feel it. The energy in the room is so different than it was 30 minutes ago. It is real. It is happening before our very eyes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going into the next map that I don't know what else to say. No, Tiffin, please don't do this. Tiffin.
I wasn't a fan of the BAP, I will say. I think that Baptiste is not an optimal character select here.
Oh, he's not optimal in that scenario, to be fair, because you're... I don't know, man. I don't know.
Lucio, if you're playing BAP, I think you need a... Brig is great at peel, but you need speed.
Okay, we're going to see actual sane backlines happening here, but the Doomfist swap for Tiffin, they really think this is a solution here.
Yeah, this is going to be... The Doomfist is good in these tight spaces, but he's not so much a brawler. Oh my god, is he dead? Oh, he's shaking. You know the tension's on when the players start shaking.
I would look like I had a disease or something if I were in this game right now, I'm going to be honest. Huge Doomfist punch. It gets a lot out from Saint X. Both their supports falling very low, and they're going to crumble here to Vortex King and Cuz on, I can't speak English, man. Oh my gosh. So the Doomfist and the Venture, huge clutch up here, getting the first cap here. Tiffin is not out of it just yet, and it's a Venture 1v1. They both go underground.
The second burrow is so much better. You can catch the first one, but he doesn't quite the punch. You've fallen into the trap here by going Queen into Doomfist. It's not a good matchup for Queen.
And Vortex King gets the opening pick onto Timbo, but they trade for Vortex King. Venture gets one. Tiffin is currently up one.
Big damage on Telm, he's gone.
And yeah, that's a Tiffin fight win. That's a Tiffin fight win.
This is an eruption from the crowd. This is tension galore. This is the highest tension I think I've ever heard in a match. I have played in grand finals before. Never have I heard a crowd erupt quite like this. That whoever has the better composure is the one who will win the day.
Yeah, this is wild.
Monkey.
Ooh, a little bit of a ratty play there for Monkey. And this is going to be a brawl out in this room. Cuz gets Gosh on the Kiriko. That's a really good pick. And now he's going after the Juno. The backline might be falling here for Saint X. And that's both supports down. But the Saint X people, they might... Wait, Security back!
Gosh!
Oh my gosh! No way! No way!
Gosh!
The Kiri might clutch this up! The Doomfist is one! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! And Saint X turns that, they get the point flip!
Unbelievable!
That's an insane TP from Spawn to get the Zuzu to... Oh my gosh!
There's ults. Tiffin has ults. They've got 3 coming up. This Nano Boost is a hair away. And Xavier are sort of dry. They have the Rampage and Tectonic Shock soon, but they need time for these support ults to come online.
But still, them winning that fight puts them in a much better position than otherwise. And that Tectonic Shock out from Vortex King early does not find anything. Trades coming out. Reaper and Juno both dead for both teams. And that's Shock from Monkey. We might see the Nano Blade here pretty soon, I think. And that's a kill on the Monkey. And gosh, no way. They can save the Nano Blade for next fight.
They will have
They don't need it.
Telm gets a nice...
That is a very big rampage. Or very big rush.
Oh no, Timbo's dead. They chase this down, they get the kill. If he survives, it's doable. He gets out!
On like 30 HP. Oh my gosh.
There's a chance. There's a slim chance this Nano Blade...
No, this is huge. The fact that they didn't need to use it was so big for Tiffin. Because they have that. I think they just kite the rush. They don't... Like...
They're gonna fight. The Nano... You can see they want it.
And there it goes. It's in the Kitsune rush. He gets the Kiriko. Does he get another? At the moment, but Satellite Vector for Citron. Okay, Timbo dies. It's just 3 for Saint X. Do they turn this? They get Vortex King. Monkey dies. And okay, it's just the Juno. I think that's it.
This might be it. Oh my god, and we're going all the way. It ain't done. It ain't done till the bell rings.
Oh my gosh.
The ref ain't call it. The bell ain't toll. This match is done when both teams find a victor. When one is on the ground, unable to stand, that is when we call it. And it is not time yet.
Oh my gosh. If I were in this game right now, I would look like I had Parkinson's.
I would not.
Straight up.
I would not keep it together. Cuz's composure. We've been talking Telm this whole time. Telm. Hazard. Cuz's composure on the Doomfist has been stellar. It has been what has kept Tiffin in this.
Yeah.
Cuz has clutched on the Doom.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Fighting! I hear fighting out there. That makes my heart happy. All right, sim TP used for both teams. Okay, neither team going to go on a sim, but both on Venture, really thinking that this is an answer here.
And Telm now on the Orisa as well. You don't, again, if you had the hazard, things might look different. The fully charged spear. Zepsi's off the map. They might be able to get it back though.
No, it almost hit the Ana. That was the... Wait, but that was the bio out for Tiffin, and it didn't get any value there.
They're on the Sombra now on Timbo.
And the fight's devolving. Sombra has to TP out. Cuz is in the back line, getting a lot of pressure, getting a lot of value. Trades come through in favor of Tiffin, and they're going to cap this point. And Monkey just dies before he can even bury, and that's Tiffin with the opening fight here.
When the crowd is against you, man, nothing is tougher. Nothing is tougher in these situations. Monkey over to the Tracer now. They're trying to go for as much flank pressure and presence as possible, but it goes against Telm on the Orisa. Timbo on the cast goes a little bit further into that, though.
And Juno's going to get pressured here off the bat, and Monkey is in very deep here. But both teams going to use speedrun. Both teams going to engage. That's Timbo getting pressured early. Citron goes down first, and Tiffin gets 2 picks here. And that's going to be cleanup. You got to reset here.
They fought so hard. It'd be a heartbreak now if they were to lose it, not with a roar, but with a whimper.
I'm not even playing, and I'm getting nervous.
This is, if you're saying Xavier, you can't help but feel the nerves. That you've already felt them. Are you giving up? Are you giving away? Like, is that what you're feeling right now? I know I have in these situations.
Yeah, it's really tough to stay locked in, stay playing at 100%. But they're going to try basically the same play again. Both teams going for the respective backlines. Gosh gets picked immediately, and Timbo goes down again, and that's Tiffin starting to roll here. They've clawed back the momentum. 2 full maps, they were down. Okay, point flip from Monkey. That's all right. That's pretty decent. But 2 full maps. Tiffin got rolled by Saint X, and even the first point on this map, they get rolled, and they have clawed it back in the final minutes.
Gosh is on Moira. There's no ults here for Saint Xavier right now. The Terra on. It's a trade
coming through. It's favoring Tiffin so far. Can Saint X clap back?
Things might have just ended. 83%.
Oh no.
Monkey's
Not
alive.
like this.
They've identified the Tracer. This is the only thing that can get you to lose the map at this point. Maybe Telm can go ball. Maybe Monkey goes for the pulse bomb. He's going for the hero play, but it's not time for that. You need to touch. Who can do it?
Nobody touches.
It's done.
No. Okay, Reaper.
It's Timbo.
It's Timbo, my goat. But you're on the back foot now.
There's no second.
No! Oh my gosh!
The worst way that it can go, the heartbreak. That's just the worst thing that could possibly happen to you if you're Saint Xavier. You fought. You played your heart out. You thought you had the nail in the coffin. That Junkrat band sent it all the way. You thought. And now Tiffin, they are the ones who will stand at the end. They are the ones who will stand at the precipice. That's, by the way, just the first quarterfinals.
I'm speechless.
Unbelievable.
I mean, what else do you say? I mean, it's a tragedy. I mean, this storyline, if you're a Saint X fan, it's a tragedy. If you're a Tiffin fan, it's the hero prevailing against all odds. I mean, and if you don't care about either team, it's just cheap entertainment, to be honest with you. I mean, what a series.
Wow.
I'm biased. I want Saint X to win because I know these guys. But man, yeah. I think that might be the best game. That might be the best game of the tournament for Overwatch, at least. I mean, it's incredible.
It might just be one. This might have been the best game of the whole tournament.
Straight up.
For this whole weekend.
Unless another one ends up being a complete barn burner. I mean, This is it, guys. This is as good as it gets, really.
This is esports.
This is Overwatch.
Esports.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I like, my head feels numb. How I was talking more than I was breathing that last match.
Yeah. I mean, and guess what? That means my match is set. My fate is written in stone now. I got to go play this Saint X squad.
Yeah.
So we're going to see what happens here.
And in just a moment, we're going to send it over. Not send it over, but we're going to be right back. We're going to have, I believe it is CSU versus Indiana Tech coming up next for the stream. Can I get a confirmation? I got a nod from the producer, so I am correct for once. It doesn't happen very often.
Occasionally.
But as for now, thank you guys for watching that. That was such a good match. Good luck to you. Everybody wish my man Will Waffles a good luck in his match, and we'll be back shortly. But